Good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And this is the weekend workout. How are you this morning? It's a lovely Saturday here, live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every Saturday, where we invite you to play with our strength and perhaps pose off a little bit as well. We have our body weight. We have some space, and we've even cleared a little space on that wall in the back to work on those handstands. But first, we'll warm up, then we'll crow and crawl. And if you want to join us or just watch, please feel free to explore your body at your own pace. Start with your feet in the middle, underneath those hips, with the palms facing forward. Lightly shrug the shoulders up, round the shoulders forward, pull down, and then retract together. In that retraction place, let's just make 1 degree of a rib cage to hips crunch and repeat a shrug up, a rounding forward shape, the down, together. Check in, ribs to hips. Now switch our direction, going down first, then rounding forward, shrugging next, retracting, maintain those ribs to hips, and then pull down. One last time from down to forward, from forward to up, and from up to back. And let it relax. Now open up your stance a little bit so that your feet are perhaps in that second or sumo position. And this time with your hands across the body, we'll address the head, neck, and then that rib cage T-spine in a rotation. I'll be looking to my right with a chin tuck to the right. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Rotate through the torso so your upper back rotates towards the head direction. Then rotate the head back to center and let that body gently follow. Return to the other side. Chin tuck, rotation at the head. Retract the shoulders, particularly the opposite shoulder blade to the direction you're going. So that's my right as I move to the left. Keep the body, reset the head to center, and let the body follow. Again, chin tuck, rotation. Squeeze the shoulder blades. If you're rotating to the right, it's that left shoulder blade to stay back. Body stays, head returns center, body to soon follow. And last one here, chin tuck, other direction, rotation. And then our rotation through the rib cage, keeping those hips facing forward. Then the head goes to center and the body to slowly follow. While we're here, let's just pull ourselves down into a squatting pattern. It might be as low as Lauren, it might be as high as me, but take your time as you pull yourself down. Make up some rules here, a little bit of an in and an out. Hang out here, and then I think it's Lauren's turn to take us away with those feet and hip combinations.
Give that a little hip circle. How does that feel? Oh. All right, let's go back to our feet first, and then we'll return to our hips. With our feet underneath us, let's just gently peel our first foot to that demi-point position, or the lunge foot if you were to lunge. Your knee and your ankle are in the same line and your hips are level. Now let's use those toes to gently point. And then can you flex over the toes, rolling them underneath. Then push into the floor to get to the point, back to the demi-point. The heel will come down and that hip will extend. Repeat on the other side. Feel that pull to the demi-point. Then use the toes to point. Gently flex or round over. Get back to the point, the demi, the heel comes down, the hip extends. Now we'll gently press our knees towards over our toes. And then we'll drive our hips through, squeezing our butt cheeks, pulling our kneecaps up, and repeat again. Knees towards over toes. Now staying the same height, can you peel those heels up off the floor? And then push up out of that, returning to straight knees, and control the down again, finding those heels with straight legs. We'll reverse it, we'll go up. Let's try that again. We'll reverse it, we'll go up first. Then we'll bend the knees. Once we find a nice height, peel those heels back down to the floor. Send the hips forward, standing to tall. And we'll do that one last time. Knees towards over toes. Could you sink a little lower and keep your heels down? Then peel those heels up, and could you sink a little lower? Find your safe low, but be able to stay on the balls of the feet and press back out of that. And then with those straight knees, control and find the floor. Give that a little shake. Let's do our standing hips. So with a balance aid beside you,
Here we go. So we're always trying to use that balance aid as we mobilize those hips. We'll continue to work on those hand balances and balances on our single legs as well. But as Lauren's getting that chair from the back, turn in and out of those hips as she'll describe.
See, you just need your office chair close by. All right, with your chair next to you, standing up tall, light grip on the bar. Point the outside leg, the leg away from the chair, out to the front. Now let's keep that pointed foot right now and rotate the inseam up towards the ceiling, keeping your belt line hips level. Next, rotate that leg in or hide the inseam. Then come back to a knee forward position or neutral leg. Now let's flex the foot or pull the foot to the shin. Same routine. Externally rotate the leg, showing the inseam up, and then gently internally rotate that femur, hiding the inseam. Come back to neutral. Point the foot. Reconnect to the toe to the floor as you send the leg to the side, pressing the hips forward. Once at the side, repeat again. Turn in on the leg. Turn open on the leg, using that butt cheek. Then let's flex the foot and repeat. Turn in on the leg and then turn open. Now let's go back to that turned in position and just pull the leg back under. Next, 2 quarter circles each direction. Point to the front. Rotate the leg open. Send the leg to the side, hips push forward. Then turn the leg in and pull the leg underneath, inseam together. Same direction, point. Rotate the leg open. Send the leg to the side. We're still tall on that standing leg cheek. Rotate in, pull together. 2 more, but now the opposite way. Reach long out the side. Rotate the leg open. All the way to the front, kneecap forward, knee stays straight underneath. 1 last time, side, open, front, kneecap forward, straight leg underneath. Whew. Mobility in that leg we were moving, but that stability in that standing leg. So hopefully you felt that inside butt cheek. Same thing other side. Tall in that standing leg, point to the front. Rotate the leg open, then gently rotate it in. Come back to a neutral place, flex the foot and repeat. Rotate the leg open, then rotate the leg in, back to neutral and point. Connect the toe to the floor as you send the leg to the side. Once out there, turn in on the leg, keeping the hips level. Turn it open, flex the foot, turn it in, turn it open, and 1 more time, turn in, returning the inseams together. Next, we'll point the leg to the front. Rotate open. Stay connected with that toe to the floor as you send the leg to the side. Then roll in on the femur and pull the leg underneath. Repeat. Front, open, side, turn in, pull underneath. Now 2 in the opposite. Reach long, touch the floor as you go to the side. To the side.
My bad.
Rotate the leg open. All the way around to the front. Kneecap forward, straight knee underneath. 1 last time. Reach to the side. Rotate the leg open. Send it around to the front. Kneecap forward, straight leg underneath. Both cheeks squeeze for a second and then relax.
We'll take that chair, place it off to the side, and from those hip sockets down low, let's just condition those shoulder sockets and how they work with those hands and elbows as well. So with those hands at the side, gently shrug once, but then pull the shoulder blades down. Then make light fists, flexing or bending the fingers. Then bend on the wrists to have the knuckles face forward. And very light tension here, do our biceps curl. Take a look at your hands. Are the knuckles facing up? Commonly the knuckles will be facing one another, but take that slacked rope in between your hands and push the pinky knuckles towards the ceiling. 1 more time, we'll shrug, and then we'll pull down. And from that down aspect, we'll push those elbows towards forward. Keep gently ripping that dowel or rope apart between the hands. Now point your fingers to the back. Use your fingers first. Then use your elbows.
Wrists.
And wrists. Then use your elbows. Thank you, Lauren. As we squeeze the shoulder blades together, and continue to squeeze the shoulder blades together as you reach behind. Squeeze the shoulder blades together again, yes, again, and reach those hands towards behind you, trying to touch your hands behind you, tight to the body. Then make fists, then bend wrists, bend the elbows, check. Then last time here, elbows, tips face down, then they face forward, nice and tight to the body. Lastly, open the fingers, point to the back, then open the wrists, then extend on the elbows and pull the shoulders together as the arms return to the floor and shake out. Let's get to the floor, maybe working on our splits or the lunges down there. But as we get there, let's take a quick detour in that hinge position. So set up your feet just outside of those hips. A little chop on those hips, and maybe place your hands on the knees. Tip your tailbone to the ceiling, that cow or anterior hip position, by pulling the femurs in the hip. Then tuck the hips under, recruiting your low abs on the front and your butt cheeks in the back, approaching that cat-like low back shape. Repeat again as you pull the femur heads into the hips to tip the hips back towards cow. And then tucking under, can you feel your glutes? You root your feet, catting the hip under. Repeat one more time as we tip like a cow. We could tuck like that cat. Repeat one more time to the cow shape or that anterior tip, and then keep the hips reaching back as you reach to the floor, and then fingers, calluses, and hands, and assemble on all 6 points, being hands, knees, and toes. From here, I'll take over a wrist warm-up before Lauren takes us back to the hips. Hands are open, blood donations face forward, and those armpits for right now are pulling down. Pull the hands to the knees to create nice tension through the core, and then can you allow the shoulders to drift over the hands, extending on the wrist. Then push the floor forward as you go back and maintain that cow tip of the hip as your bum approaches the heels. Pull the hands to the knees. Pull yourself forward. In this moment, you might be tucking under those hips to hold a nice strong plank. Then as you press forward, tip back like a cow in the hip, and we'll repeat that one more time. Pull hands to knees. Condition those wrists to take that extreme load of that wrist extension, and this time push the floor away. Shake out those wrists as you ascend and stand up to the tall kneel here. And one last time for those wrists, this time making fists, particularly the peace sign digits, index and middle. So now on the knuckleheads there, pack the shoulders. Try to keep that blood donation forward, and then flex, meaning bend on a wrist. From there, open the hand and push down into the floor to bring the wrist back to that stacked position. Repeat on the other side. Pack a shoulder, open the fingers, and flex on the wrist, back of hand approaching the floor. Then push down to bring it back up. One last time each side. Easy does it on the over, flexing the wrist. Then push down. Flexibility is the ability to get towards the floor. Mobility is then that ability to press away with strength. So here I go my last time. I'll push away, and then using both fingers, push, shake, and always check in with those small muscles before we start crawling or crowing or handstanding. Keep building the wrist stuff. Stuff meaning strength.
Because we're going to spend a lot of time on our wrists today, I'd like to take our hips one more time up to standing. So let's get up there by doing our ankle squats. We'll gently sit back on those pointed feet, and then we'll extend the hips forward, squeezing and bracing. Tucking the toes, with or without your hands, we'll rock back to find that balance on our balls of feet. Keep those knees up high, high, high. Can you get them high towards your chest? And then gently press into the floor to grow tall. Keep the knees straight and slowly descend the heels down. Give that a little shake. We'll grab our chair back out for our balance aid, and we'll do our hips with bent legs here. A nice full circle. So to start, we'll stand again tall on that inside leg grip, keeping the hip level and the quads parallel. Gently bend a knee, getting the heel towards a butt. Next, we'll reach that leg straight to the back. Little bit of hip extension, doesn't go far. We'll rotate the knee to the side as the foot comes underneath us to make that number 4. From this number 4 position, our knee will come to the front or the midline of the body. Let's just pause here and then pry that leg back open, sending it to the number 4 again. Repeat 2 more times. As you pull that leg through the concrete, imaginary concrete, feel that adductor. And once more to the side, and then back to center. Brush to parallel quads, but keep that knee bent, heel to butt. Now we'll reverse it. Knee is going to come to the front. Then we'll send the leg to the side back to the number 4. We'll disconnect that foot from the leg. The femur will start internally rotating so that the ankle lifts up. We'll draw a small semicircle behind us with that knee, keeping the heel close to the butt. Once the inseams reconnect, extend that leg underneath to grow tall. Give that little shake and wiggle, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So tall in that standing leg. I want you to keep that bent leg bent the entire time. Flick the floor away, keeping the quads parallel as you bend the knee. Then we'll reach to the back, a slight hip extension. We'll send the knee to the side as the foot comes underneath to make the number 4. Once in this 4 position, 3 moves to the front. Knee closes, feel that adductor hug the midline, and then send that knee to the side and hold. Repeat 2 more times. Gently to the center line, and then pry open. And one last time, return the leg to the midline. Pry open, hold for a second, and then back to the center line. Brush underneath to parallel legs. Just a second. Yep, we did that. Okay, now to the front, then sending the leg open to the number 4. The foot will disconnect from the leg, the femur will spin in, the ankle will lift. Continue drawing that circle slightly behind you, but keep the hips level. And then return the inseams together and straighten the leg underneath. Growing tall on 2 legs, and then relax. Whew, sometimes I forget what we just did. Remembering to do the same thing on the other side can be tricky.
Lauren's going to go from the ballet master with those hips to the zookeeper with our first crawl, and then stay tuned with me for more of our single leg squat progressions.
We'll start our first crawl in our elephant position as well as our plank. So we'll get double duty here, both an elephant and a core warm up. Let's start with our forward fold first. So our feet are narrow underneath us, our chin will tuck, and we'll slowly roll ourselves down. Cues I like to give here are imagine, keep your blades together. Imagine you're in an alleyway trying to tie your shoe. Try to kiss your knees. These are some things that I like to give visuals on here. You're trying to fold in half as much as you can without pushing your hips back. Hang out here for a couple seconds. Are your blades retracted or are they dangling in front of you? I want you to keep them retracted for 1 more breath. And then we'll slowly bend the knees and walk out to our A-frame, elephant shape, down dog, whatever you'd like to call it. Hands are spread out wide on the floor. Let's gently bend the knees and tip the tailbone to the ceiling. Now, keeping that low back position, gently press the heels towards the floor. They don't have to reach the floor. This is fine if they don't. Breathe. Prioritize that long spine. Next, we'll drop our hips, walk our hands 1 or 2 steps forward to end up in a plank position. In this regular plank position, we're squeezing our butt cheeks and they're up high in line with our shoulders. We're pulling down on the elbows and we're pulling down on the shoulders and we're breathing for 3, 2. Now tip the tailbone to the ceiling. Walk the feet to warrior hands. Walk the feet to your hands, feet to your hands. Try to keep those hands flat. And then slowly walk yourself back out into a plank. This time, could we take a step further in our plank so our hands actually end up further out than our shoulders into a more extended plank position? Tuck the hips under, squeeze the cheeks, pull the shoulders down, breathe and brace. There should be lots of work on the core for 4, 3, 2, tailbone tips, hips lift. 1 more time, feet walk into those hands. Get them tight, 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 tight. And then we'll slowly walk 1 more time. Maybe you have to walk your feet back, depends on the size of your room. And 1 more extended plank, because your hands walk 1 more step forward than they did in the last plank. Make sure you're nice and grippy attached to the floor, and your socks don't slip out and nosedive. Hold for 5, 3, 2, then 1 last walk, feet in towards those hands, keeping the tailbone long. Once you're compressed in your sandwich, slowly stack yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. As you come up, use the muscles in the front and the back of your spine to get all the way up to tall. Ooh.
I'm very glad I didn't have to talk throughout that exercise because I was quivering. We hope to make those simple inchworm and down dog shapes challenging for the core. So good job, Lauren, for maintaining your composure because my quiver was strong. With your feet underneath those hips, nice and narrow stance, pull up to that number 4 or similar position Lauren had us in that hip warm-up. From here, we'll be doing our single leg squats. Encourage the tailbone tip like cow. So that minuscule tailbone tip like cow to descend on that single leg squat. Let's hang out here for 3, 2, push the hip through to finish tall. Test those cheeks and test those abs. 2 more repetitions. The knee goes over the toe, the foot stays rooted, and right now that knee is center, smushing in between those 2 panes of glass. Then push the hip through, full knee straight, full butt cramp. And one last time, knee towards over toe. Breathe. Press the hip forward and perhaps find that single leg releve or balance and slowly return to the floor. Quite literally, shake it out like those floppy fish. 2, high tension, enjoy some of that shake and relaxation. And same thing on the other side. Pull up, connect that toe tip of the elevated leg to the top of that inner ankle knuckle. Then from there, it's that tailbone tip like a cow as we aim to descend in our squat. Then press through, finishing tall on a butt squeeze and a straight knee. Return again. Have that knee track those 3rd and 4th toes, making a little bit of room in the hip, and then pull into center as you stand tall. For our final repetition, the tailbone is a slight cow tip. We descend and we hang out in that challenging place on our single leg, and then press through. Use your butt to come up. The calf is clearly working here, but it's your hip that will lift you up to that releve, and then control down. Stand on 2 feet like it's easy. And as always, enjoy that little extra shake and wiggle to break up that tension.
We're back to our crawls again. Let's combine our plank with a little hip opening stretch lizard. We'll go back to our hinge. So with our feet in our hip hinge width position, hinge down, walk yourself out into our plank. Let's first establish that plank position by tucking the hips and pulling the floor together. Next, flick the floor away with a single leg and bring that foot up right next to your hand. With that foot up next to your hand, your spine is trying to stay nice and long, and you're going to try reaching out your front knee and reaching out your back heel, straightening that back leg for 3, 2, then pull the floor together, lift the foot off the floor and place it back where you got it, switching sides. Flick, lift, place. Don't feel bad if you have to adjust your hands through this. Reach out that back heel, reach out that front knee, splitting yourself in half, and then lifting that foot off the floor and placing it back. Adding on to make it a little bit more challenging, flick the floor away, lift the knee up and try to touch it to the tricep for 3, 2, then place that foot on the floor. And again, reach long out that front knee, reach out the back heel. You should feel nice opening underneath the thigh and in the back hip flexor. Then we'll lift it back up to that leg and place it back. Other side. Flick. Knee towards tricep, hold. Then place it down. Reach long, spine. Breathe. Whew. We'll send that leg back. We'll tilt the tailbone to the ceiling, lifting the hips back to that A-frame shape. Trying to press the heels towards the floor. Take 1 more second here. And then this time we'll walk our hands back to our feet, ending up in our hinge position as we press through all the way to tall. Whew.
Is right. For all these single leg squats, perhaps grab that chair or balance aid. And as I was doing in the back there, modifying those planks positions from the knees. Work safely, work strongly, and be patient. It takes a lot of time. We know that. But take your time now on those 2 feet and pull up to the low position. This time we'll do the same effort. We'll return to that single leg squat, but this time extend the leg. Either your karate foot or the ballet point are appropriate, and then pull and press the hip through, finishing tall. Repeat. Knee over toe. Once you're as low as you can go, straighten the leg. Then could you lift it up and then pull under and full extension of the hip through? And for one final time, the tailbone is still that cow shape as we descend. And then pull the straight leg into the socket, but up, and then in, and push through. And like before, could we find that butt cheek squeeze and single leg balance? Whoo! I heard a bird outside and distracted me a little bit, and then easy does it down. Little shake. Don't be distracted, but take a look around because it's nice too. Pull a single leg up, check. Tailbone tips like cow, check, check. Then the straight leg out front, straightens on the knee, and either foot shape, but be specific. Then press back to tall with the leg underneath. 2 more times. It's that knee towards overtoe, straighten the elevated leg, pull into the hip socket and try to lift it higher. Then pull under and extend the hips through with control. Final repetition, knee towards overtoe, pull up, point, lift the leg out front higher and then under, and then extend through, and perhaps find that single leg balance. The calf is the stability muscle, the butt is the moving muscle. Use your hips, your glutes to squeeze, to balance, and come down with control. Shake and wiggle.
Legs are heavy when you lift them.
They are.
All right, we'll revisit the down dog again, kicking a leg up towards the ceiling to get ready for our handstand kick-ups. So let's revisit that forward fold. Slowly tuck your chin, roll yourself down, and breathe. We might double up this crawl here, doing some kicks and then finishing it out with a crow. First, we're in our A-frame shape, breathing, tailbones tipped towards the ceiling. Next, pull yourself through to your plank position. We'll return to that A-frame but without one leg. So flick the floor away with that toe and lift the hip up towards the ceiling. Are your hips open? No. Good. Close them. Reach to the ceiling. Then pull yourself back through that plank. Switch. Flick. Lift. Keep those hips square to the floor. In a handstand, we can't open to the side, otherwise we'll just go nowhere or fall over. So stay square. Pull yourself back through that plank 2 more times. Flick. Lift, hold. Without opening, your leg might not reach as high, and that's okay. Breathe and pull back through, but try to keep both legs straight on this last one as we reach up to the sky. We'll come back through to that plank for 5 seconds, getting ready to be upside down for 3, 2, then again, lift the hips up, slowly walk the hands back to the feet, and then we'll unfold ourselves up to tall. We'll do a quick crow here. And then, okay, in our squat position, so feet in your squat width, let's pull ourselves down. Variations on this crow will progress easier towards harder through these next 3 rounds. Round 1, hands placed on the ground. Get up on those tiptoes, bringing the knees up towards the triceps, just like we did in our lizard. No leaving the floor yet. Drift forward, starting to transfer weight into those hands. Big toes still down for 5, 4, 3, 2, soft landing back into your squat position. Take a second off those wrists. This time we'll lift one foot, place it down, then the other foot. Hands come down, knees high in triceps. Drift forward, hold. Once there, one toe off the floor, hold. Place it down, switch feet, hold. Place it down, come back out, take a second off. Those are your progressions. The final one is to lift both feet off the floor. Pick a progression that works for you. One last time, hands gripping the floor. Use all of those fingers, connect to the callus lines, get the knees up high, and then slowly transfer weight into that crow shape. Breathe and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then soft landing with the heels into your low squat and press up. Whew. Returning to tall.
Excellent.
Shake out those wrists.
We've spent a little bit of time on those wrists that could feel like a lot of work. Be patient, take your time, check in. If you're feeling good and ready, explore your handstand with us next on your wall, or get back towards your favorite crawl, your favorite crow, and just keep building endurance on those stiff arm strength skills and those wrists. But before that, a single leg squat. And then Lauren's going to climb up that wall behind us, so clear your space as well. Feet underneath, returning to that first variation of our squat. We pulled up to check out the knee to the front. But now open the knee to the side. And tailbone tips like cow. Let's descend in that squat with those level inspired hips and push the hip forward, keeping the knees to the side. 2 more repetitions, tailbone tips like cow as we descend low and press through, finishing tall with straight knees. And then one last time, the tailbone is still tipped like that cow. We'll press to our tall position and using your butt cheek and the calf for balance, push the hip forward and slow with control down. Then close, finish on 2 feet, shake, wiggle, repeat on the other side. Feel free to use that balance aid as you need. I might need it this set too. Pull in, then open the knee to the side. The tailbone is tipping back like that cow as we descend in our squat, and press the hip forward, squeezing the glutes and straightening the knee. Repeating again, the tailbone tips like that cow ever so subtly. And then we press through, finishing nice and tall. And one last time, tailbone like cow as we get towards your safe low with that knee side, and then press through, find a balance if you can. Breathe, squeeze, control the down, and then close. Finish on 2 feet and shake. I'll keep the mic as Lauren gets to that wall, and take your time cueing this inversion on the wall. It's been quite a bit of time since we've done this with our live audience and those following along the archive. So take your time. We'll be aiming for 15 seconds upside down. It starts in that plank position Lauren cued. Open hands, straight elbows. Then get your feet up that wall. And using your hands to push the floor away, walk yourself towards your inversion. We have stiff elbows. You're pushing the floor down that you will be shrugged up. It's a great strong position for our handstand. 15 seconds is about 5 seconds longer. Are you breathing? Are you hollowing out? How does that feel here today? And then with control, take your time coming down. Lauren chose her little handstand dismount. If that looked crazy, enjoy your rest. If you didn't do that and you don't want to do that, crawl, work on your straight arm strength skills. If not, follow me as Lauren cues.
So while we rest as Ian goes, make sure you're taking the time off of your hands. You could stay here in this position, and that would be great. You could walk 1 step closer, and that would also be great. You could walk 7 steps closer, and that would be just as wonderful. So pick a position that works for you and take your time getting to it. Be able to comfortably moderately comfortably, be in it for another 5 seconds while breathing, trying to point your toes, keep that hollow position, knowing right now that you need to get out of it, also with safety and control. Whether you choose that cartwheel or to walk the hands back out into that plank position, make sure you can get in and out of your position with strength.
Alternating sets, as Lauren has said there. Let's try that one more time. The hands are open, the elbows are straight, and the toes connect to the wall. Push the floor forward using those animal-inspired hands. And, as Lauren then said, perhaps focus on pointing those toes. The hollow position is against the banana or open shape I'm showing, so it's keeping that rib cage connected to the hips and maintaining your breathing. Those 5 seconds come by pretty quick, and in 3, 2, come down with control. Very soft, Lauren, very nice. Soft means, or quiet rather, means efficient and control. So always look for those values as we go through here.
One of the big things you're doing while you're upside down is you're breathing. So remember to breathe in and out. Getting as close to the wall as you feel comfortable for today. Another 10 seconds here. How are your hands gripping the floor? You should feel all 10 fingers connected, that callus line, and you can use those hands to press yourself forward back. 3, 2, with control, dismount, like a cat. Out of that. Like a cat out of that.
Like a cat out of that. And rhyming is always good timing. Pull up the same final version, of our single leg squat with the leg out to the side with this straight leg. So pull up to the front, check. Okay. Then move that knee out to the side. It's that single leg squat as we descend. Keep the knee at the same height and point, and then pull back in and full extension through. Two more repetitions. The tailbone ever so slightly tips like cow. The knee is facing side and will point. Think lifting that leg higher, and then pull back to the ankle. Press both hips forward. Repeating one last time, knee over toe, sitting down. Then keep the knee at the same height as you reach out to the side. Pull under, push the hip through, close, and finish tall. I forgot the balance, Lauren, but we'll say that maybe. Working on those hand balances.
We're balancing upside down.
That's right. So final set here for 3. Pull up that the knee faces forward, and open so that the knee faces side. Tailbone tips like cow as we descend in that single leg squat. Then gently allow yourself to straighten that leg. Great toe point, Lauren. Then pull under and press the hip through. Repeating again, the tailbone is tipped like the cow. We descend in that squat. Keep the knee at the same height as it reaches and stretches and stretches and reaches and pulls underneath. Whew, and breathe. One more time. Find those simple skills like this squat that build the strength and endurance to assemble in towards bigger, amazing skills. Press those hips through, close the knee, finish nice and tall. At this point in our workout, we invite you to join us for 1 minute / maybe 30 seconds of craziness.
30 seconds times 2.
30 seconds times 2. That's the goal. That's the goal. So we're working on your favorite skill today. Lauren and I will be trying our freestanding handstand, which we practice once a week with you live or in the archive here. Throughout the week, we condition our hands, we work on our skills, but this is the first time I've done this in 7 days. So here we go. 5 seconds, 3, 2, do you know what you're gonna do? Your crawl, your crow, go for it, and go.
Ooh. You got me nervous there.
I know, those pitter patter of the hands. So we can try that again. Oh, that's been 30 seconds. Hold it longer, Lauren, if you can. No announcer's jinx here, looking great. But finish with control. Taking your time. Love it, love it, love it. I'm just gonna be quiet and just enjoy the look. Very good. Until we try that maybe one more time for today, let's come on down to the floor. Any way that works for you, and just open up those legs in our tall sit split. Hands on the floor, but it could just be those fingertips.
It's like we're on the split train.
Ooh, doesn't have to be so heavy. Choo-choo. Straighten those legs, and let's have those karate-inspired feet here to start. My left leg, this one at the back, is stiff and pulling down into the floor. The one in front is stiff currently and pulling down into the floor. But use the knee, the hamstring muscle group, to try to flex the knee, lifting the knee away from the floor, but keeping the heel heavy. Safely straighten that leg. You may be able to wiggle it back a little bit. Then change your direction or attention to the other side. This leg in the front is now stiff, pressing down. The leg to the back here is stiff, but I'll be pressing the heel down to show a little bit of daylight underneath the knee here. Hold for a second longer, safely straighten, and then perhaps heel toe that open an extra degree. A couple more times here. The one leg stays stiff, the other starts stiff or straight, but then drive down on the heel to pull in the groin and the hamstring here. Hold, safely relax, perhaps create some wiggle room. Last time on the other side, stiffen the one, start stiff on the other, and bend the knee by driving the heel into the floor. Breathe, 3, 2, and then relax. Other skills we could work on here include getting towards that pancake shape or getting the head towards the floor. And that takes a lot of time. but working on those other variations in our splits might help us get there. So maybe now with no hands, let's come on up, stand up, shake out, and because Lauren said 2 times 30 seconds, let's aim for one more repetition
My fault.
of that favorite handstand movement in 3,
Or crawl,
2,
or climb the wall.
no rush, but let's go. That was 30 seconds. Keep going, Lauren. Own it in the controlled way up. Own the dismount when you're ready for it. And those announced jinx moments, they do interfere. So my apologies, but still,
okay.
No matter what, great job.
Ooh.
I love training with Lauren and with you here live on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are joining us in the if you're joining us in the live class, thank you very much. Leave us a comment. What's your favorite part of today's practice, and what skills would you like to work on? Same goes for you if you're in the archive. Same goes for you if you're a Patreon. Thank you very much. Visit patreon.com/barsandbells and our website, or YouTubers at large. You're always welcome to join us as well. But like, subscribe, share, tell your family and friends, and find someone to train together. Might make it better, even better.
Thank you for joining us. We restart our week next week with our bell class on Tuesday at 4:05, our bar class on Thursday at 4:05, and our body weight practice. 3 things. That's all you need to do in a week. And then go for some walks. Get outside, enjoy that sunshine. And until next time, take care, stay strong, and we'll train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Great handstand, baby.
Yeah, that was a good one.